Vlog 47, November 56. So tired. I got up at like 6. I guess it was like 7 my time. I had been up really late the night before, because I was traveling. Mercy. I feel like I've been up for a long time. So, yes, I went to the Epic Church. There you go, folks. Get your sleep. I talked about how he fell back in a chair at a wedding and he was almost paralyzed. He went through some rough times. Lord provided, you know. He gave this guy feeling in his extremities and allowed the guy to walk again, which is amazing. And he would play sports and get rocked, Someone threw this ball one time and his hands were right here, but his helmet was right here, so like the ball hit his helmet and the other team won the game. It's like that's quite embarrassing, but it's good to know that he's over it like many years later. I think the guy said he was 26, so he's over it, so that's good. So after that, Epic Church did free hugs outside, not to be confused with the $2 deluxe hugs, which I can give to you if you have $2. True story. Anyways, the Epic Church did these hugs outside, and what's funny is I was kind of waiting with someone in the back, just kind of watching the people hug or whatnot. Person went back to get their friend, and I was there just like in the middle of a Hipster City Central, starting to talk to this guy who's for homosexual rights. Supposedly, many businesses, they will fire you just because you're homosexual. It's like, oh, you have no place here, you person. So they'll just fire people. And that's what you call white states, because on the map they like color coordinate it in the white states. Get rid of the homosexuals, and I think the blue states are like safe ones, if I'm correct. And I think Michigan is a white state where they can fire you for being homosexual. So I talked to the guys for a good while, and we talked long enough to the point where like one of the workers was like, "Hey, we gotta work." He just said it like that. I was like, "Oh, my bad, man. I thought we were having a good in-depth conversation." That's one moment of many awkward moments that day. I passed another corner in Hipster City, and this young black lady gave me a little pamphlet or something. She's like, "Hey, go to this thing, live your life." And when you say live your life, that just inspires so much good feels inside of you. So I was like, okay. So I like walked like a few blocks, maybe more than a few, to Wicker Park, which was a little bit away. And people set up with their tents and everything. So I walked to the red tent and talked to this young lady. I was like, "So what is this about?" She totally broke down this whole eating extravaganza thing that they had going on. It was pretty obvious. I probably could have come up with the answer on my own, but why not talk to someone? Test the communication skills, right? So after not getting lost, but I was just like, where am I? Pretty much lost, right? But I knew I was kind of in the general area. I asked a few people, like, "Hey, how do I get to North Michigan, or North Milwaukee, something like that, whatever the streets are." So some people pointed me in the right direction, and thankfully I got to the right direction and place, and I found these people hugging on that one boulevard in Hipster City, where you have that very classical architecture, but inside of this building is a Walgreens. So these people were hugging outside of there, and there's maybe half a dozen people passing. So they went to the other side of the street where it seemed to be busier. There were like canvassers there for some prop or something they're signing up people for, and business picked up immensely. I was just filming shots and stuff, but eventually I got into it. I was like, "Give me this free hug sign. I want some free hugs. I want some free loving on the corner. I mean, free loving on the streets, and I want some free hugs in the city. I just want, you know what?" So I was there hugging people, and eventually I had to put the sign down so I can get some real hugs in there. True story. But the sign didn't hinder me too much, but it's kind of like, "Oh, hey," kind of thing. There's this one Asian lady I tried to hug. It was kind of awkward because our faces went the same direction when you hug. And when you hug, you're supposed to put your heads different directions unless you're like into that type of thing. So it's like, uh, you know, kind of. It's just funny. Yeah, I got some good hugs. Yeah, I got some good hugs in the windy city. Who rather have wind in their face than a hug on their chest? So I was really closing people in, but they weren't having it. They're like, it's all right. I'm good. I don't want to catch whatever you got over here. And there were other people who were like questioning the system, right? They're like, why the love? Why are you guys giving out hugs? And the answer I would give them is like, why not, my friend? That's a question, but and there's this other guy who's like, oh, we're spreading the love of Jesus, and then they're like, oh, got it, you're one of those Christian people. I should have known. So after the Sabbath, I had a popping battle with Juan Amaya, and if you know anything about Juan Amaya, he's an amazing dancer. He's the one that does like all this like, stuff like that. So I had a dance battle with him, but unfortunately no one filmed it. You're just gonna have to picture me like doing my Fresh Prince 90s style thing and him doing his like 2013 swag stuff, you know. But we did that, and I think, personal opinion, I think I killed it with the whole like, it took me like 2 or 3 days to try to get that down, and from finally left the city that I came to enjoy, and I drove to Paris. Reach one, teach one. Onward, brother. Onward, sister.